In the ongoing remodel of our den, we had to decide if we were removing the damaged wainscoting or if we were going to try and restore it. I hate unnecessary waste, so after years of watching Nicole Curtis on Rehab Addict, I just couldn't remove that much of the original character from our 1980s house. I went about the task of removing and preserving the woodwork from the wet bar area that we are repurposing. I was hoping to get enough reusable wood to continue the wainscoting and chair rail on the wall we rebuilt, as well as patch a hole left by an intake vent that's no longer in use. But to do this, I had to clean and count all the usable pieces of wood that I harvested. If you're new to woodworking or restoration, here's how I cleaned up the wood that we needed to salvage. So today I am cleaning all of the boards that we took out of the wet bar that we're going to need to reuse. Now these nails will need to be snipped off. There's too much meat in there, and you run the risk of cracking this tongue piece off if you try to bang them down and back through where they went in. And they bend and you just can't get them out. Get down as close as you can. You can even dig into the wood a little bit with the nose of your angle cutters. This does leave a little sharp protrusion. That little nub right there will cut you, and it will also damage the face of your boards as you stack them. So make sure you stack this face to face and back to back. If you're not careful when you're snipping these, they will fly all over the place. Make sure you hang on to them. See? There it is. All right, sometimes you have a problem nail like this. It's a perfect candidate for snipping off because really there's entirely too much meat right here in between the tongue and where it was shot in, because it was shot in at the tongue at an angle. But it wasn't shot in completely. So what you have is a nail head that's poking up. It's not good and flush. It's not sunk in. So we have to get it out. And that's a bear. I'm going to start by snipping this off about here so that I don't bend this as much trying to hammer it out. All right, I'm going to beat this out, but if it starts bending, I can always hold it with these needle nose. In fact, why don't I do that for the first couple of taps? That got it loosened. Yep. Now we can pull that one out. Hooray! It's in the floor somewhere. I could pull these nails back this way, but I risk damaging this wood further than it's been damaged by the wear and tear of the last 35 years. So I have this scrap piece here that's been cut. We won't be using this cut board when we reassemble the wall. So I'm going to use that to protect the face of the board I'll be reusing. There you go. We ought to be able to sand that down and reuse it. No problem.
Not sanding.
The last step in this process is be sure to clean up your workspace. Always wear gloves if you can get by with the reduced dexterity, because otherwise you're going to scratch yourself and cut yourself and bang your knuckles and not have very much fun. Hold pretty close to where you're hammering so you don't get too much bounce. My gloves make me feel invincible. They protect my fingers, they make my grip stronger, but I have to be careful not to be so invincible on these tiny little pieces, especially when it's been cut at an angle. You got to just tap these out really gently or you're going to splinter this and it's going to split and you're not going to be able to use it again, at least not until you glue it back together. So just gently tap, even if you're feeling invincible in your gloves. See? Super light. And now we can reuse that piece of chair rail. Unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of blowout on the front side where the wood putty that's been in there for 30 years had hardened. We'll have to come back and put a little bit of putty on that when we re-nail these. But they've all got to be sanded down anyway. Might be able to sand that out.
Not sanding.
At the end of all the cleaning, we have the crown molding that Rich harvested when he scraped the ceiling, the chair rail, and the beadboard. I ended up with 52 planks of beadboard. After doing some calculations, I figured that we only need 41 pieces to patch the intake vent and build the wall back. I doubt I'd even be able to find matching wood, and I'm sure I wouldn't want to pay the asking price for it. We'll still need to buy a few trim pieces to finish out the room. I'll need some case molding for the door, some quarter round after we lay down the floor, and at least one piece of corner molding since I split every single piece I took out. I can't wait to finish this room and make it into a usable and inviting space. I hope you'll follow our progress, and be sure to like and subscribe, because apparently that's the way these things work.